Alrighty, we have a 1989 Ford Mustang 5-liter. It was originally an EFI car and converted to a carburetor. There's a couple reasons why you want to do this. You know, just like the carpet's more simple, or like me, having trouble with the EFI system. There's not a lot of videos about it, so I'm gonna kind of make a quick video about it, what everything you need and how to do it. And I even got a list with part numbers for things I use, and obviously you don't have to use these, just to kind of show what I'm using. So fuel pressure regulator, the Holley 12-A1 for 70 bucks. It's right there. If you don't use that piece, make sure it can handle EFI pressure, so 40 or whatever, and it could get down to the 5 psi that you want to run, or the 7, sorry. And then after that, you're gonna need an HEI pigtail if you end up going with an HEI distributor like I did. I've seen people use the original distributor and not have a tack or anything, just kind of rig it up. I mean, what you can do, but I kind of want to do it the right way. So it's just this little piece right up in here, this little pigtail for your power to your coil and your tack wire. It's 11 bucks off Summit. You're gonna need an intake gasket set, which is just, you know, you have your head to intake, and then I just ran a bead on both the ends. The distributor I ran is the Petronix flamethrower. There's the part number PNX-D1350. It's 300 bucks, but it is everything you need. It has your coil, your ignition module, everything built in, so you eliminate pretty much everything. It's easy to do. Most simple way to go if you're trying to do it right. Throttle cable, I'm using the mystery gasket universal. There's the part number for 40 bucks. Right there, I got a 3-footer. You only need maybe a 2-footer, really, but it came with the right end for the pedal and everything. There's a bunch of different ones. Throttle return spring. It's the All-Star, $9 right here. It actually came with this bracket. This is custom made. The bracket is really small, and I actually don't recommend a throttle cable bracket like this or anything, because we're not to the cable bracket yet, but I recommend the one that goes on these two studs right here on the carburetor, and it's adjustable, way more easy, way more efficient. Then we got carb studs. I just got Mr. Gasket. There's the part number for 11 bucks. I just got 2 inchers in there, just in case if you want to, I end up want to throw a spacer or something. Intake bolts, ARP. I couldn't find the part number, but 21 bucks. Carburetor, a lot of different options. I went with the AVS2 650. I got the manual choke version, but I'm just gonna add it on myself. I know a lot of guys go with the 700 CFM, but there's, on a website, you can see what you really need. This is slightly modified GT40P heads, trick flow valve springs, E303 camshaft with some BBK shorty headers, and 411 gears. And you only need, for that setup by itself, you only need a 500 CFM carburetor, but I wanted to have some room for expansion, so there's the part number. It's $447. Intake manifold right down there. I'm running the Y-end accelerator. It's a single plane, runs like 7,000 RPM. That's what I went with, but I got it used for a good deal. But this is what I would recommend if you have a slightly modified car. It's the Edelbrock Performer RPM. It runs to 6,500, I think. There's the part number, and $342, which is pretty typical for you know, high-end intake. High pressure fuel line. I'm gonna talk about this too. I just ran rubber high pressure fuel line from the. I use the factory. If I can get down there, the factory attachments, and then we welded in a little fitting, got to seal up good so we could just plug in our line on the return right here from the bottom and the inlet. And you also, your factory tach will not work, your oil pressure gauge will not work, and your water temp will not work. So I'm running all that. It's kind of messy right now, but I'm running it all in. This is strictly your choice what you want to run, but got some nice electric ones on here. This is all just kind of temporary, just to get everything on and running. I ran with it's a Jegs branded RPM activated switch. It's like 60 bucks, and these are Autometer gauges. So the gauge, the oil pressure sending unit came with a 1/8 inch MPT thread, and then you need a 3/8, so I just had a fitting I had to put on there. And my intake for the water pressure is 1/2 inch MPT. It's right there. It came perfectly. It also goes down to an 1/8 inch MPT. The other thing I want to mention is you will have to get under your driver's seat. There is a fuel relay underneath there that I know a lot of people put just a switch. They put a switch on it and they run it up here. Just flip on your fuel basically. But I actually did not do this part, so I do not know much about it. But I know that he bypassed the relay, the factory relay, because it's triggered by ground, and replaced it with another relay and just ran it up here into a fuse tap to get power with the ignition. So yep, got one last startup before she goes apart again. Fires up just as she should. I'm telling you, the carb is probably the way to go. As you can see, the battery gauge still works, water temp does not, oil does not. But you really should never trust these Foxbody gauges anyway.